Hello people, this is going to be our first tutorial in which we will learn how to create our first Pygame window. So the first step is to open VS Code and create a Python file inside your directory. Create a file, name your file with .py extension in the end and check if it is running and write import Pygame and then run it. If you see something like hello from Pygame community, then perfect, you are ready to go. So now let's learn. First thing we need to do is import the library. To import Pygame to our Python file, we need to use the import keyword and then write the name of the package. We will simply do it by just writing import Pygame. Now we need to initialize Pygame. So in order to use all the methods and functions of Pygame, we need to initialize it first. To initialize Pygame, we need to write the following code: pygame.init. Here init stands for initialization of a package. This will attempt to initialize all the Pygame modules for you. Not all Pygame modules need to be initialized, but this will automatically initialize the ones that do. You can also easily initialize each Pygame module by hand. If you run the above code, it won't do anything except displaying a hello message from Pygame community. To create our game, we need a surface to put our game objects. So that's why we create a window or screen. By window screen, I mean that it is the surface where we will put our game objects and run our game. So to create our screen, we need to require the display module from Pygame, because display module controls the display and window and screen. And inside the display module, we need to access the set mode functions to initialize the window or screen for display. Set mode takes 5 arguments, and the syntax is right now on your screen. This function will create a display surface. The arguments passed in are requests for a display type. The actual created display will be the best possible match supported by the system. The size argument is a tuple of a pair of numbers representing width and height. The flags argument is a collection of additional options. The depth argument represents the number of bits to use for color. The surface that gets returned can be drawn to a regular surface, but changes will eventually be seen on the monitor. We can simply create the window and show it, but we need to customize it further, so we will store it in a variable for our ease. To create the screen, we need to write the following code: screen equals pygame dot display dot set underscore mode, and in parentheses and again parentheses 800 by 600. Here 800 is the width and 600 is the height. But now if you run it, the screen will appear for an instant and then disappear. Well, that is because there is nothing else in the program that will keep it running. So after it displays the screen, there is nothing else to execute, so it terminates, and so does the screen. To keep the screen remain on our monitor, we will run a while loop after this part of code. But don't run it instantly after adding the while loop, because there is nothing else in the program that will stop the while loop, so your screen would look like it is hanged and nothing will work on it, not even the close button. In that case, you may need your task manager to kill it. So to prevent that, we use events. We will learn about them in future articles, but for now you need to know that events in Pygame is anything that is happening on the screen, like clicking, moving the cursor, key press, etc. So now let's add the while loop. After adding the while loop, we will add an if statement to check all the events that are happening on our screen, and if close button is clicked, then it will return false. that will break the loop and terminate the program. So we will also create a boolean variable that takes true or false to check if the program is running or not. Let's take an example. If is running equals true, then keep looping. Else, if is running is equals false, then break the loop. So consider the following snippet of code and try to understand it. Now let's see what's inside the while loop. In the while loop, we have a for loop that iterates through the events that are happening inside our game window with the help of the statement pygame.event.get and stores it inside a variable called event. And then inside the for loop, we have an if statement that checks if the type of the event that happened on our screen was a quit type of event or not. Quit type of event occurs when a user clicks on the close button. And if the event that has happened and pygame.quitEvent are equal, then set is running equals false. That will break the loop after the execution that is required further in the loop is completed. Else, it keeps the screen or window running. So now you know how to create display for your game in Python using the Pygame library. Now we will learn how to customize our display screen in the next video.